Parent Cafe it's a model that was developed by an entity called Be Strong Families. And it was developed in order to provide an opportunity for parents of many different communities, many different walks of life, to come together and share support along life's journey. It is a peer-to-peer guided discussion group that encourages reflection, enhances our communication skills. It supports supportive friendships among parents, strengthens families and communities, and promotes healing. Those are big claims. And we're going to get into the specifics about how it does all of those things. At the St. Louis Arc, parent cafes are designed especially by and for families of children of all ages with developmental disabilities. So parent cafes take place in all sorts of communities in our society and internationally. Here at the Arc, of course, we've tailored them to address the needs of families, of individuals with developmental disabilities. When Be Strong Families developed parent cafes, they decided to draw upon research at indicating that the fostering of certain protective factors would be really beneficial for parents and communities. And the protective factors that can help strengthen our families, our communities, are parental resilience, so undertaking activities and connections that help us as parents to bounce back, filling our buckets so that we can recover from setbacks in our personal lives, in our parenting lives, that help us to come back with greater strength. So that we can be there for our families. Parent cafes help build social connections. So when we bring a group of parents together, we are really looking to foster that sense of connection. Parent cafes are designed to be very welcoming and intimate spaces where parents feel safe being vulnerable, sharing their experiences. Some are very positive experiences, others are more difficult, but they feel in a safe space to be able to do that with other parents walking a similar journey. And this is so important for families of individuals and children with disabilities, because many of those families describe the journey of raising a child with disabilities to be rather isolating and lonely. And so we really try to capitalize on the opportunity to build relationships among other families in a similar situation. Parent cafes help us to build knowledge of parenting and child development, especially as those things relate to children with developmental disabilities. They offer concrete support in times of need, where parents are able to share resources that build concrete support, as well as to share their own support of one another in times of need. For example, many parents of children with disabilities worry about leaving their children with others for brief periods of time, finding respite care providers that can really understand the child's needs. And oftentimes other parents of children with disabilities are really in a great position to be able to do that. Other concrete supports might include being able to do an errand for somebody in need, or offering a therapy resource to another family that has been beneficial. Finally, parent cafes really help to build the social and emotional competence of children. And that is by encouraging parents to utilize really positive and responsive communication skills, and through having built their resilience, their connections, knowledge of parenting, etc. So parent cafes, as I mentioned earlier, they are a guided discussion group. And so when we're planning a parent cafe, we start with a theme. And to use the example of our January cafe, our theme was renewal. This was on the occasion of the new year, renewal and nurturing the seeds of hope as we're entering a new year. Our themes touch on all of these protective factors. And the protective factors that were especially relevant to January's cafe were parental resilience, concrete support in times of need, and social connections. All of those protective factors work together really well to help us renew ourselves and be able to nurture hopefulness and positive things in our lives. Then, during our guided discussion of particular questions, we have question options at each discussion table. We agree in the parent cafe to speak from our own experience, not speaking for others, and not giving advice, but really just sharing our own experiences. We practice listening attentively to others without interrupting. We refrain from making judgments, positive or negative, and from giving advice about what other people have said. We maintain the confidentiality of everybody at the table and in the room, and we minimize our distractions. And the reason why all of these cafe agreements and positive communication skills are so important is that they enable us, as I've mentioned before, to create a safe space for everybody to share. And they also challenge us each in the cafe as individuals to be more mindful of the way we communicate with others. So for example, in the listen attentively, we're really practicing active listening with our body language. And we allow people to finish before interrupting. The reason it's so important to refrain from making judgments, even positive ones, like, oh, Sharon, I love the point you just made. That is so important and really relevant. You'd think that that would be a great thing to do in a parent cafe or in any discussion group. And it is so often a great thing to do. But in terms of making Parent Cafe a safe space for everybody to share, sometimes those positive comments have the unintended consequence of making others feel like, well, maybe what I just contributed wasn't that valuable because nobody applauded my contribution. So being mindful, exploring sort of unintended consequences of the way we communicate, and then taking these positive communication skills back into our lives and allowing them to impact positively our family relationships and other relationships in the community. Some of the other cafe themes that promote reflection and build protective factors for individuals, families, and communities are taking care of yourself, specifically as a family member or a parent of someone with developmental disabilities, building strong relationships with your children, nurturing the seeds to grow strong families, finding hope in our everyday struggles, because nobody said this road was easy, building a support system, and feeling safe in a world that can sometimes feel very unsafe. And all of the discussions that happen at the individual cafe tables will be related to the chosen theme of the evening.
Thank you for coming and sharing with us today, Anne. I love this format. It's not new to the ARC. As Anne said, many people use it for many different kinds of curated conversations, but we're really proud to be able to do parent cafes with our families.